We've been following the theme this week of the way that this whole debacle with Kevin McCarthy being ousted and the response we've seen from different people, it all reflects the unseriousness of the modern Republican Party, especially in the House of Representatives, their inability to govern effectively and as adults. And I have an example of that for you that is very much making that point as strong as you could imagine. Here is Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who is a MAGA Republican, saying this on X. I will vote for the speaker who publicly and clearly commits to defunding Jack Smith's anti-American election interference, witch hunts, and subpoenas Hunter Biden while bringing a vote on the impeachment of Joe Biden to the floor of the House. We must have free and fair elections, and in the corruption of our government, America will only survive if we do those things. These are my terms. So Anna Paulina Luna is saying the next speaker of the House of Representatives, she will only vote for a candidate for that position if they defund Jack Smith because of election interference, subpoena Hunter Biden, impeach Joe Biden, or at least bring a vote to the floor. And if they don't do those things, then don't even bother trying to get her vote. It's ridiculous. Now, this whole defund Jack Smith thing is something Matt Gaetz has been pushing for some time. Again, these are not serious people. These are not the type of people you would want to be in such important positions of authority. Now wanting to undermine the rule of law just because the rule of law is now hurting or negatively impacting someone they love so dear. Here's Matt Gaetz a while back saying he wants to do the same.
And so in the coming hours, the coming days, I will be introducing legislation under my name in the House of Representatives as a freestanding bill to defund the Jack Smith investigation. And one reason why is the election interference feature. Another reason why, the lack of transparency. I have sent correspondence to the Attorney General. I just want to know who's on the Jack Smith team. And so in the...
Wow. These are the people who used to say they were for law and order. Now, we don't like what this investigator, prosecutor's up to, so defund them. Get rid of them. And also, coming from the people who mischaracterized the percentage of the left that actually wanted to defund the police, because it was a relatively small portion of the left, never something I supported. And now, Matt Gaetz isn't just for, in the name of protecting Trump and other reasons, defunding the FBI, DOJ, specifically Jack Smith, but also would be on board with just abolishing all these dumb agencies.
Government back on our side, or we defund and get rid of, abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them, if they do not come to heel.
So if they keep politically persecuting the dear leader, Donald Trump, then Matt Gaetz would be for abolishing all the agencies and institutions you just heard him list. Imagine a world where, as we talked about earlier in today's show, our conversation could just be exclusively about, hey, Biden is now following through on the promise as implemented by the Inflation Reduction Act to lower prescription drug costs for Medicare recipients. The first 10 medications are being rolled out, and companies are now coming to the table to make those agreements, negotiate those prices. And let's talk about how could this have been done better? What issues do we have with legislation? What do we want moving forward? But do you think Matt Gaetz, Anna Paulina Luna could engage in those conversations? They're too busy talking about abolishing the FBI. Again, because now the rule of law they said they stood for is catching Donald Trump or potentially negatively impacting him. And as we watch all of this chaos, please remember and try to make sure other people in your life don't fall into this. This is not the government doesn't work problem. This is not a Congress is so ineffective problem. This is not politics is so annoying and we can't make actual progress with it problem. This is a Republican Party problem, as was made this point was made very accurately by a CNN host the other night. Take a look.
McCarthy ousted. Paul Ryan quit in disgust over his right flank. John Boehner pushed out by the Freedom Caucus. Dennis Hastert spent time in prison after admitting sexual abuse. And the hyper-partisan Newt Gingrich, who faced ethical complaints, resigned before his own caucus staged a rebellion. So perhaps the issue isn't actually Democrats, but the insatiable thirst for rebellion within the Republican conference.
And that's Abby Phillip of the CNN host. Perhaps the issue isn't actually Democrats, she said. Because we're seeing some people, another story on lukebeasleyshow.com/news you could check out, Andrew Yang made this point very incorrectly, trying to act as if this is also a reflection on the issue with the Democratic Party, because yes, technically they didn't jump in to save Kevin McCarthy, but that's not their obligation. If Republicans can't figure out who they want to lead themselves, then that's on them. They need to figure that out. Democrats want Hakeem Jeffries to be the speaker, so that's who they'll vote for and nobody else. And we've seen Republicans try to say the same thing. Oh, the Democrats are really the individuals in the wrong right here. No. This is a Republican problem. This is a reflection on their inability to govern. And the last 5 speakers that have been Republicans have shown that. There is a characteristic of this hardliner, far-right part of the party that's been present for some time now that causes for a less effective governing party. And now it's just completely falling apart. And so with all the issues of the Democratic Party, you can't even compare the two when it comes to a commitment to actually implementing, and often through cooperation with the other side, common sense policies to benefit the lives of people. So don't let people make that kind of both sidesy point of this is an example of how DC isn't operating. Washington, D.C. has a big problem. Both sides have a big problem. On this, as we saw, first 2 years of Biden's presidency versus what we've seen under the Republican House majority. This is a Republican problem. Don't forget it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show and get a bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.